We're on the road.
I'm not completely sick of you yet.
We still got 3.5 hours left, man.
That's true, we do.
I still got time.
Talking sports.
He's gone all the way to Italy to coach baseball.
That's right, I forgot about that.
And not to say anything about the Italians, but I didn't realize they had baseball over there.
Life.
There's a rivalry with South Dakota.
Oh, they hate South Dakota, and that's fine.
And, yeah.
It's an onomatopoeia name.
A what?
It's like calling a beer up. Well, you know.
This is how our car rides go, right?
This is the world of the producer, my friend.
Yeah.
It's the Midco Sportsnet Producers Podcast. Buckle up.
Hello and welcome to Midco Sportsnet Producer Podcast with me, Nate Burdine, and Dan Aspen. How are you doing, Dan?
No, I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Excellent. We've spent about 5 days together now, up in Fargo, Pierre, Fort Pierre, Ipswich.
Ipswich.
Where else were we?
Had a great time with the closed road in Ipswich at 11:30 p.m. on our way to Pierre from Fargo. That was fun.
It was a highlight of my day. But the whole point of our podcast is really to give you a look inside our road trips. Dan and I will be putting on thousands of miles, as will the rest of the crew, as we broadcast football games, and basketball games, and volleyball, and cricket.
And cricket, yes, of course. No, I don't know if we have any cricket. But, it's a melancholy first podcast, just reached the end of our baseball season. I know both of us are very fond of baseball and the live production of baseball games. So it is
it's a sad day.
It is a sad day, it really is. But it's okay. We will endure, and football season's right around the corner. And to be honest there, Burdine, we've got about 3 weeks, and then every weekend is going to be a new location, a new game, so that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit insane. We're going to be going Aberdeen, Bismarck, Pierre again, I think.
Pierre again, I think, yes. Minot.
Minot.
Which
Why
I
not
have
Minot?
not seen. Why not?
I've not been to Minot either, actually. I heard it's a great town. They've been struggling with some flooding right now, and so, that should really be on the top of our mind. We're just coming from Pierre, and they're just cleaning up after dealing with flooding since Memorial Day, right?
Yeah, they said it started right around Memorial Day, and that was actually, the reason we went to Pierre from Fargo, as you mentioned, was to shoot a feature story. Their boys varsity hockey team won the 2011 state tournament, which was held in Aberdeen. We actually were on hand to broadcast that live back in March, and it was really interesting to see the community, and small town, but it is the state capital, and they've got a lot of cool buildings and monuments and stuff there. But it was really interesting to see the aspect of the story tying the community and the sporting world, the impact that the sporting world has on their community, and how sports really is a big part of these guys' lives. And I think everybody we talked to had some kind of connection to each other. I mean, they all knew each other. They were obviously all involved with the hockey team in some fashion, but the coach, Rob Kate, had met his two friends who we interviewed, one of them the assistant coach, Ron Wagner, and the other one just a friend, Mick Heckenleibel, and they all met each other on the softball diamond over 15 years ago. So, there's always a interesting connection between interpersonal relationships and sports, and that's really what we wanted to focus on with this story. So that was a bit of an explanation, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We obviously are very concerned about the people up in Minot, and we'll definitely want to be we're looking forward to getting up there and seeing them and hearing some of their stories as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the pictures up there in Yazoo as well, and it's devastating what they've gone through, and a lot of people in our region have. I know down south on the Missouri River, even south of Pierre, there's been a lot of problems. So our thoughts really go out to those people. I haven't made it to Minot yet, but after seeing the people of Pierre and hearing their stories and how they're enduring, it's inspiring, and it makes you feel really feel really lucky. I mean, we do sports for a living, and people are dealing with real stuff. So it was good. It was good to see them all come together. I think you mentioned it last night. Really, I thought you said it well, how the town is really like a family. It came together at a time. I mean, even when good times they come together and bad times they come together, don't they?
Yeah, and it was interesting. Their coach Rob Kate was he really started the hockey program there, and back in 1993, I believe it was, and this was his 17th season as their head coach, and it was the first one they finally won. They were competing. They really had been a competitive team for the last 5-6 years, But, for 17 years, the first couple years there, that they really just had to start developing into a contender, and they took a lot of years where they just, they were a new program and they weren't very good, and they just had to, continue to build, and it's just kind of ironic that the first year that they finally won, and it was a long time coming, and they got to celebrate, and less than 2 months later, they just had to had a whole different set of priorities. And it was interesting. We sat down with Rob and his wife, and they just said how it was a reality check, really. Once they were so elated that they won the title, and then just a couple months later, they're over at their friends' houses and sandbagging, and yeah, it definitely sheds a perspective on life that's a little bit, it sets your priorities in order.
It was cool too seeing, even after months. It's been, you said March since they won. It's August now. Boy, they still just light up when they talk about winning that championship, though,
yeah,
didn't they?
Absolutely. Oh, it's great. It was really cool to see. Obviously, there's just a lot of passion there and a lot of love for the sport. And you're absolutely right. That was one of my. I really had a great time with that interview that we did with Rob and his wife. They just seemed like very sincere, and just, you were right. They just lit up when they were talking about it. I mean, just beaming. And that goes for the guys we talked to as well, the players that we got a chance to talk to as well. They're just, you could tell, it meant a lot to them, and it was really a long time coming, and that was really cool.
And the other thing I noticed with these players is, Dan did a really great job just surveying them ahead of time. Had a really good idea that these kids had really good heads on their shoulders, and you start meeting them, and my goodness, they're all high school kids. Well, a few of them are going to college now. Well, one's going to college that we interviewed. One's going to play junior league in Minnesota.
Yep. The other one is going to be a junior in high school.
Yeah, and they had a maturity that was very rare for people their age. I look back on it, and when I was a senior in high school, I wasn't. Let's be serious. I was really just blown away about the maturity level of the kids. They were really easy to talk to. My biggest concern coming in the story is with high school kids, you don't know what you're going to get. You have guys who will be shy, just, they don't see the camera, aren't used to it, and they just couldn't have been better. They were themselves. They were comfortable. They weren't, worried about looking cool or being cool. I probably would have been in high school. I would have been a jerk.
Yeah, come on. You're a senior in high school. Come on, seriously. And Austin Wagner, the winger that we talked to, he's going to be a junior in high school, so he's even younger. And just unbelievable. These kids, just the maturity level was really just outstanding.
Yeah, I'm not mature now, and I certainly can't talk now. They're light years ahead of me.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Very well spoken, eloquent. There wasn't a lot of stuttering. There wasn't any they didn't seem to be nervous. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's good. And before that, we're in Fargo for a couple. We've been on the road 5 days now together, and I'm not completely sick of you yet. I don't know what you want to say about that.
We still got 3.5 hours left.
That's true, we do.
I still got time.
But Dan and I started our road trip. What was it? A Friday?
It was
Tuesday.
Friday morning.
Yeah, and we went up to Pierre, set up there, broke in. This is one of my favorite points of the trip. We broke into the North Dakota State Bison basketball arena and played a pickup game with Tom Neiman and Joey Beltram.
Yes, I will say, for legal reasons, just to cover you there, we did not break in. We went to scout the basketball court.
Oh, that's true.
The door was open.
Was open.
We did happen to have a basketball.
We did. It sounds better when you say you break into a college basketball arena.
Right, yes.
But illegally, we were there for work reasons.
Yeah, we were not trespassing.
I seem to remember Neiman and I just buried you and Joe, though, in the 2-on-2 game.
That was really upsetting. That was definitely a low point of the trip to me. Beltram really brought his game. I just did not. And let's be honest, Burdine, you hit some hook shots in there that just, your shooting percentage is like 25, and you just happen to have the quarter of the shots that go in just happen to fall that game.
I think this really speaks to my strength. Those shooters are going to be on every night, but you keep shooting until they fall.
Yeah.
You don't take the ball. In all seriousness, Neiman's a shooter and was really in a giving mode, and just trying to keep hooking up, trying to build his assist line, and eventually.
Yeah. Well, he was point guard, right?
I don't know if I'd call him the point guard. I think I'd call him. I don't know what I'd call him, I guess.
No, but didn't he play point guard in college?
Oh, you're saying in college?
Yeah,
I was asking what our positions were.
Oh,
in the
no,
2-on-2
two on two, you don't really have positions.
I don't know. I was kind of thrown off by that question.
No positions.
No, was he a point guard at SDSU,
I
right?
believe he was, yes.
So he's always looking to dish first.
Yeah, he's looking to dish, man. He's looking to get those assists.
What a giver.
He is.
But he's got a nice shot still, and he's like 60 years old. So it's like, but they say you never lose your shot, you lose your legs.
Yes.
I lost my legs.
Oh man.
Years ago. I think I'm 31, and I can't run.
Well, that was pretty embarrassing after that game of how tired we played up to what I think how it went. Let's play to 15. No, let's play to 11. Guys, we'll make it 7 and call it a day. So after a game up to 7, we all had to go back to the hotel and recover a little bit.
I literally drank a gallon of water and took an hour-long nap and still felt sick to my stomach. The steaks and an adult beverage at the steakhouse cured that finally.
Yes, that was certainly a good remedy for that issue.
So that was one of the highlights. Then a couple days in Fargo, finishing up our 8-game series between, it wasn't 8 games in a row, but
right.
We had a bunch of 2-game stands with Fargo and Sioux Falls, Redhawks and Pheasants. And boy, I'm just going to be honest, and people in North Dakota listening, and please don't get too offended by this. I'm from South Dakota, which I know, many of you know, and you've come to understand, Dan, is the greatest place on earth. And so you really kind of tend to look down on other states north of you. And having never been to North Dakota, I wasn't really looking forward to ever going there. But boy, I'm really turning into a big Fargo homer. It's a fun town. I've always had a really good time there. And I tell you what, that baseball stadium's a nice stadium. And we were there Friday. We went to the game for a few minutes Friday. There was like 5,000 people there.
Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful stadium up there in Fargo. And you're right, the attendance is great. They've got, I think they're 5th in the league in attendance, and really impressive. That stadium's gorgeous, and it's great for TV. Great to do.
Oh yeah.
Do games there for TV, and every state. I'm sure you talk to somebody from North Dakota, they would say that there's a rivalry with South Dakota.
Oh, they hate South Dakota, and that's fine.
That's normal. There's see, I'm originally from Philadelphia, so there's the East-West rivalry with Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't think there's much of a rivalry just because there's no contest there. But
of course. Right.
And then there's the little stepchild who wants to be involved with the argument in New Jersey, but they're just not because no one cares. I always say, New Jersey is the nicest little connection between New York and Philadelphia, but not much else than that.
Yeah, so we've got that going too, and you've kind of started to discover those little weird rivalries.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's definitely one of the huge things that I love about this job is traveling around and figuring out the rivalries in the different areas, and getting to go up to Fargo was really neat, and having the North Dakota-South Dakota rivalry. I'm sure that'll be looking forward to seeing how USD and UND games go in terms of rivalries, SDSU, NDSU, that type of thing. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then even inside of Sioux Falls, we get into high school football, which I'm actually really looking forward to. I think those, getting to see high school kids play. I haven't been to a high school game since I was in high school.
Oh, wow, yeah. That's I was telling you yesterday. That's one of my favorite things to do is go to a small town or even Sioux Falls or in a bigger town. But I really love going to those small towns on Friday nights and following the entire town out to the stadium and watching these kids just kill the other team from 20 miles down the road that they just hate.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's one of the things that makes sports so great is just when you get the rivalry games and the kids at this age, they're not worried about money. They may be trying to get a college scholarship, but if anything, that just drives them to compete harder, and they're really just playing for the forgive the cliche, for the love of the game.
Oh, yeah.
They're just for the sheer competitive nature of it, and definitely looking forward to seeing some of that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You're saying playing for the love of the game. It takes me back to our baseball talk. We're kind of bouncing around here. Hope we're not losing anybody.
Well,
This is how our car rides go, right?
This is the world of the producer, my friend.
Yeah. I remember when we a few weeks before we started our broadcast with the Pheasants and Redhawks, we asked the managers, Steve Shirley of Sioux Falls, and Doug Simonek of Fargo, and several other players why they do it, because minor league baseball is rough, man. It's a lot like our life, only they're traveling about 10 times as much, and they're away from their families even more than we are, and probably not getting paid a ton of money, but boy, a lot of those guys, they really love what they're doing. I was really impressed with Shirley and Simonek, because that just drives, it just fuels.
Absolutely. And it was cool when we first talked to Simonek back in the preseason. They were playing an exhibition game against Sioux Falls, and we were asking everybody about why they do the game, and got to find Burdines got a phone call here.
A phone call from the wife. You know what? I'm going to make her wait, because this is important. I want to talk to my friend Dan right now.
Oh man, see, that is not a good choice for you later on, but I feel very happy.
Good, yeah, I want to pay for it.
I feel honored. But but we got to talk to Simonek, and he actually coached. He's gone all the way to Italy to coach baseball.
That's right, I'd forgotten about that.
And you know, not to say anything about the Italians, but I didn't realize they had baseball over there.
Well, good point.
I have been to Europe. I've been to Italy.
You've been to Italy?
Yeah, I've been to Italy.
You want to say something against the Italians.
No.
You've said stuff about the Italians to me.
I wish I was Italian.
That's a nice dodge. Yeah.
I do.
Why is that? I mean, they got a cool accent, or what?
No, well, I mean, I'm Irish. I don't have an Irish accent. There's Italian. You think of Italian, you think of the family tradition, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You get the good food and all that type of deal.
Beltram's Italian, isn't he? He was saying he went home to Des Moines. He's from Iowa, which is too bad. That's for another day. Don't get me started on that. But he went back home to Des Moines a few weeks ago and had a family dinner, an Italian family dinner. It was 12 families, and they all bring food, and they just hang out for a day or two.
It's amazing.
Something.
And you know what else I love they do is the 7 fishes at Christmas.
What is this?
I love fish, okay? I know you're a little...
That's disgusting.
Your palate is terrible, and you can't handle it. If it's not meat and potatoes, you won't eat it.
Yes.
But for the more sophisticated of us in the world...
Fish is sophisticated?
Oh, yes. When you prepare it 7 different ways...
Really?
Incredible. And it's really just an excuse to get a ton of food, everybody in the family together, celebrate Christmas, and just have a great time and eat fish.
Because you're Italian and you eat fish.
Because it's delicious.
Okay. You know, what's funny about this, we just came from the Oahe Dam, and we were shooting some shots down on the shoreline, and there are like 1,000 dead fish around.
Yeah, that was
And you were acting like a little girl. You wouldn't want to go down there. But you're trying to tell me you would eat those things, and you don't want to walk by them? I'm walking by them. I'm almost falling down on them.
Misrepresentation of the facts. I believe you were the one who said, "Oh, these smell bad."
Well, they did smell a little funny.
Yeah, they did, but no, it wasn't the most appetizing thing. But there's a lot difference between dead lake fish and prepared Christmas fish.
See, I would disagree with that. I think it's probably about the same kind of deal, no matter what.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't all have Pizza Ranch buffet on Christmas Eve, all right?
Oh boy, if they were open on Christmas, I would be there with bells on, my friend. I just told Dan about the Pizza Ranch buffet thing. I've actually been on a tour trying to get to every Pizza Ranch in the States, well, North Dakota and South Dakota, and Iowa. That's one of the very good things that's come from Iowa is Pizza Ranch.
Pizza Ranch in Hy-Vee, right?
And Hy-Vee, yes, I love Hy-Vee. Their pizza's not as good as Pizza Ranch, but everything else is.
We should talk to marketing. We got some potential sponsors.
Yeah, if you're from Hy-Vee or Pizza Ranch and you would like to sponsor Dan and I.
No, this is like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing. This is like a sponsor of the network, man.
Yeah, I guess you could do that too.
We could always get some brought to you by Hy-Vee.
We could do that,
you know?
and that's fine. I'm just more worried about just getting fed for free.
Oh, well, that's true, too.
And being a huge cheerleader.
We could just always wear Hy-Vee t-shirts.
We could. I would totally do that.
I would absolutely do that.
And, you know, we'll wear Midco Sports t-shirts another day, but I will be sponsored by Hy-Vee on Mondays and Pizza Ranch buffets on Tuesdays.
Right, and if you're from those places and you'd like some Midco logo, I know a guy, so...
Absolutely.
Little
we can
quid
make that
pro
happen.
quo there.
Yes.
But anyway, that was a way off track deal. This is great. I am really enjoying this. But no, so Simonek.
Oh yeah, Doug Simonek.
Our Fargo manager who coached in Italy. which was surprising to me that they had teams in Italy, but also that he would go there, considering now he's been in Fargo, and this is bad because I don't know
93.
93.
Yes.
Interesting. So about 17 years.
The same as Coach Kate
Yes.
of the Oahe Capitals.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, so that's very interesting. So you just kind of wonder, I mean, that's a pretty interesting thing. The guy, he played in the minor leagues, he did not make it to the major league level, but he played in the minor leagues for a while, a couple years, and then he became a manager, moved around, went to Italy, and then we asked him, why'd you settle in Fargo? It's kind of a random place, I mean, as random as any, to just kind of figure out to settle down there. And he said, well, we got a great fan base, we got a great following, and they definitely do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you get up there and you get to the town and you see just the way that the town is laid out, you can understand, the guy, he gets to coach a baseball team, do something he loves every day, and, live in an area that's got a lot of fan support. And that's really a pretty interesting thing.
Yeah, that was cool. He spoke of their success, and I mean, it's proven. They've won 5 Northern League championships up there. They're now in the American Association, as is a lot of the old Northern League teams now. But I was even talking to, I didn't catch the guy's name. This was about a month and a half ago when we were up in Fargo. One of the people that work for the Red Hawks, and he said our whole strategy is to put a winning team on the field each and every year. We think that'll drive fans, and it clearly has.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like seeing some great baseball? So I'm recording this on a $40,000 camera right now instead of just like a pocket recorder, but this is a really, really expensive recording, but we are running out of tape, Dan, so I would like to know, well, it's not tape, what the heck is it?
It's a card. It is a card.
It's a card. So that's the technical name of it. It's a card you put in the camera, but it's running out of space. So I'm just curious, what was the biggest takeaway from the 5 days on the road to Fargo and to Pierre?
Man, what was the coolest thing, I think, was... Oh, that's tough. We had such a great time with the games. Always love the live productions.
Yes.
The truck is always crazy, and, the hotel last night was showing a replay of the game, which was funny because I was looking at half of the game and I was like, wow, I definitely was doing something completely else. I didn't realize this guy said this at this time. And it's really cool to see a finished product, but to not really be able to you're an integral part of it while it's going on, but you don't actually know how it looks until you get to watch it again.
Well, right, because there's 25, 26 people on the crew, all with a responsibility. And you're the producer, you got to kind of oversee about 55, 60% of it. But because you're looking at so many different places, no one in there, not one person knows exactly what's going on with every aspect of it, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. And you've got to stop yourself from, you can get caught staring very easily. And you know this as a director, you're constantly watching every camera for a shot, and it's so easy to get fixated on one thing and to lock up, and it's absolutely kind of devastating to the broadcast, because once you lock up, then everybody else is just kind of waiting for your cues. Right. So I guess that's a long-winded way of saying I just really love the live stuff. It was really great to do our last 2 games of the year, baseball games. I'm a huge baseball guy, so I definitely enjoyed those. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say getting to see Pierre was a great time. I mean, it's a cool little town, really just interesting about how it's as small as it is and as kind of intimate as it is, yet it's the state capital, and it's got kind of some national significance, so it was cool.
Yeah, and I'd kind of piggyback off that. I've lived in Sioux Falls most of my life and only made it out to Pierre a couple times. They've both been for work, and you're there for an hour and then you leave, so you can't really take in the town. But boy, the people there, and people everywhere in North and South Dakota are very nice, but boy, they were some of the nicest darn people I've been around. Our hotel, I think,
they asked
6 different people asking how you're doing?
8 or 9 different times. Yeah, I think I saw the same guy 3 different times the first morning that we were in town, and every time he said, hey, how you doing? Oh, great, we're so thankful that you stayed here. Yeah. I mean, just killing with kindness, and it's really nice. Being from the East Coast, I'll tell you what, that's something new.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, because you guys are jerks. I'm just kidding. It's been, I'll just kind of wrap it on this, because I did want to get this in there. being a Midwestern guy working with a Philly guy, I've really enjoyed kind of understanding how to be a little more honest with people, because Midwesterners are really backhanded about how we like go about telling people we're not happy with them. We'll just kind of passively aggressively compliment them on something that they know is bad, and then kind of walk away with a smile on our face.
Yeah.
It looks really nice, but it's probably meaner than just being honest with people. So it's been kind of funny to watch that progression.
Yeah, that's been a big thing since moving here for me, is just see the contrast of the different styles of personalities. It's really funny. It's one of those things about just meeting new people. And, you know, you guys say a lot of weird stuff out here in the Midwest, and that's all fine.
Had you heard jalopy before? I'd said jalopy
I have no
recording.
idea what that is. What is that just
a
like?
Jalopy is it's a really nasty beater of a car. It's normally kind of a small thing. And
like a clunker.
yeah, it's like a clunker, only it's a jalopy.
Okay.
Jalopy's cooler.
Okay.
No, I don't know. You can call it a clunker.
Well, I can't tell you how many times I've said soda since I've been here, and people look at me like I got 7 heads.
Well, it's because it's pop.
Yeah, well, apparently it's pop.
It's
Yeah,
not soda, so
well,
don't ever say it again.
It's an onomatopoeia name.
A what?
It's an onomatopoeia name. It's a name that was given because it makes that sound when you open it. It's like calling a beer up.
Okay.
You call it a pop because it pops when you open it. It goes, you know, right?
No, it goes. That's what it does when it opens. So
yeah, but isn't that a pop?
Purposely, we should be calling it a.
Yeah, you should be going.
Anyway, we got a minute left. We got to get some and pull over and do some other things. So thanks for listening to the initial broadcast of the Producers Podcast. That rhymes.
Yes, Producers Podcast.
And we'll come back at you whenever we're on the road. So just check back. And thanks again.